I'm going to do my demonstrative speech. Here are my people listening.
I'm Amelia Culver. I'm his friend.
Go.
I'm Kellen.
Ewan Sanguinetti, friend.
I'm Audrey Puckett, and I'm Heath's best friend. Lexi Finley, Heath's advisor.
I'm Mike.
I'd like to give you guys a speech on apple roses. Apple roses are a dessert that are always enjoyed by people at festive events. They're very pretty, in my opinion. Of most desserts I've made, they might not be the best, but they're one of my favorite desserts to look at. Okay, let's go to the first thing of what we will need. First, I used to use 2 apples. These are 2 kind of red apples. So they say Red Delicious is the best, but I figured these are just as good as any. But I would prefer not to use like Granny Smith green apples because they probably won't be that great. Next, you'll need some apricot preserves. Apricot preserves are pretty important. I guess I don't know why they pick these, but they calls for it. It calls for puff pastry, but I couldn't find that at our Dillon's or Walmart, so I got pie crust. I've made it 3 times and it works pretty good. So pie crust works fine. This comes with 2, but I only use 1. Next is you'll need some lemon juice. It says like half a lemon's worth, so I just put in about half a tablespoon. And then some powdered sugar for the topping. It's optional, but it makes it look creamy. Okay, to begin, you'll want to make sure your puff pastry or pie crust is at room temperature, or maybe slightly above, but just don't have it frozen because it won't work out then. I forgot to say you'll need just a little bit of flour, but not for cooking, just for the pie crust. Okay, so first, you'll want to get some water, and then you'll mix some about half a tablespoon of lemon juice with it, just for the apples. It's not too essential, but that's just what you'll do, so that's why I have this here. And you'll put it in the microwave 3 minutes later, but that's later. So first we'll start with an apple. You'll cut it in half. After you've got it cut in half, you'll have to core it. So usually I just use a spoon, but you can use a knife and just core up the apple. Now we've got a cored apple here. Now you do it with both of them, and then you cut lengthwise like this, and you just cut off the edge because you can't get a perfect cut there. So you cut that off, and then you try to go like razor thin as you can. You try to get the cut to the apple. As seen here, this is about the right for as you want. If you can get thinner, it's better, but this is about as thin as you need it to be. You don't really want much thicker than that because then it's really hard to microwave after that. So after you get these, you'll just put them in the water. Just kind of, you'll have 2 apples worth of them. So you put them in the water, put lemon juice in it, and you put that in the microwave for 3 minutes. And then you take them out, and if they're not able to bend, if they crack, then you'll have to go for more time. But usually after 3 minutes, if you don't have too much water, it should be perfect. Move to the next step. After you've got that, then you'll want to get your pie crust or puff pastry. Get that out, and this is where you need the flour. You'll get a little flour, and just toss it down, and then you'll get your puff pastry. A little warm, maybe a little above room temperature would be best. So you get your puff pastry out. Yeah, see, as you see, it's a circle here because it's made for a pie, so you have to like edge it out so it kind of works good. If you know what you're doing with dough, it's really not too bad. Usually you probably want to use a little bit more flour, but this is fine just for this video. So you got this here. They say you want 12 by 9, but for this is fine. So there you go. That's what you gotta do with the crust. Just kind of, usually you kind of cut the sides so that it all looks pristine, but it's not too imperative. It depends how much you want, how pretty you want it to look. Okay. So after that, you'll want to get your apricot preserves. And you'll get 3 tablespoons of apricot preserves. After that, you'll get 2 tablespoons of water. And then you just gotta mix it up. It doesn't have to be perfect, you just gotta mix it up. It's just mainly about the apricot preserves, but you just have to make it more fluid state. It'll be mainly apricot consistency, but you know, just so that it moves. You don't want to get the apricot jam because you don't want the pieces of the apricot because that would be annoying. Because you have to like cut through them, so that's not good. Okay, so now I don't have a cutting board, so I'll just like tear this. But usually, you get like a cutting board. So you got your apple rose thing there. And so with this, you just drizzle some of this on it. You'll have 6 of them, but just kind of go like this. There you go. And then after you have that, you know, you'd have your cooked apples, but these aren't cooked, but I'll just show them on here. You'll want to lay them on top of each other pretty close. So you might want to get a little closer so you can see. So you can see like how they kind of a little back. Okay. So they kind of overlap and everything. And so then after you do that, you'll fold this up, and they'll be they'll be bendy, so you'll be able to bend. But if they crack, then you'll have to have cooked them more, and then you'll just wrap them up. So then after you have them wrapped up, you'll cook them in the oven at 375 for 40 to 45 minutes. Just kind of look at them. Some people like them more crisp. I don't particularly like them that way. So then after you just kind of get them out. Here's just an apple roaster. Here's 3. So then you get your sifter. You can use anything. I think a sifter works pretty good. And you get some powdered sugar. Then there you have some apple roses. They're usually best right after you cook them, so they're still warm. These ones are from last night, so they don't look very neat, but that's as soon as I can make them for doing my speech. But I still think they look pretty neat for a dessert and day after. If you ever go to an event that's pretty special, I think this would be a good thing to make.